Good evening, I'm Hannah Thomas. The leader of the Welsh Conservatives says Boris Johnson needs to use the summer months to convince the party that he's the right person to lead them into the next election. Andrew R.T. Davies said the national headwinds had made it difficult for his party in Wales as they suffered big losses yesterday in the local authority elections. Hamish Auskerry reports.
Kai Pridi had a lot to take in this morning. When he woke up yesterday, he was an A-level student. Today, he's also a councillor for Teg in Rhondda-Cynon-Taf. You played in this play park. How do you feel now representing this area for your constituents?
It's a bit incredible, really. You know, I would never have thought maybe 2 or 3 years ago when I first joined the Labour Party that I would be standing here or sitting here as an elected councillor. It's quite insane, really. I think that's the best way of putting it. There's a lot of young people who didn't think about this election. I remember a lot telling me they didn't think it was important. They didn't really understand fully what council meant and what it was to be elected to council. So I think that's an important job as well.
It was not an evening brimming with optimism for the Welsh Conservatives, though. The party losing control of Monmouthshire, the only local authority under its leadership across the country. But it was the leadership in Westminster identified by many as the cause of the party's poor results.
No, I'm a supporter of Boris Johnson, but Boris Johnson needs to obviously use the summer months productively now to energise the party, convince the party that he's the man to take us into the next election. And I'd like to see him do that if he uses that time well over the summer months. And I think he can do that, but there are many questions to answer.
Plaid Cymru also called for some soul-searching today, not in their leader, but for all political parties to address the low turnouts in areas across the country.
I think that's the real challenge. If any party is complacent, then actually we're not doing our job as politicians and political parties. Every party needs to work hard to improve that connection with voters so that they feel they should be voting and that there's a purpose to voting.
Just 6 votes decided Kai's seat, leaving him contemplating taking office, while unsuccessful candidates across the country consider what comes next. Hamish Auskerry, ITV News, Teg.
A petition begun by the family of a mother from Flintshire who was murdered by her estranged husband has reached more than 100,000 signatures. Jade Ward's family are calling for a change in the law which would see parents who kill their partners lose legal rights over their children. Their petition must now be considered by Parliament. A woman from Llandudno who's living with Parkinson's disease has zoomed down Europe's longest zip wire to raise vital funds for the Parkinson's UK charity. 68-year-old Elaine Evans completed the zip wire trip at Penrhyn Quarry near Bethesda.
I did it because I wanted to raise awareness. I've had Parkinson's for 21 years. I was diagnosed at 47, so I wanted people to see that even though you've had the condition for a long time, you can still do challenging, adrenaline fuel things.
Well, let's get the Saturday sports scores now.
Small businesses and local teams, the heart of our communities. eBay sponsors ITV Cymru Wales Sport Reports.
Let's start with football, and it was the final weekend of league action for our top sides today. In the Championship, Cardiff City won by 1-0 away at Derby County, while Swansea City lost by 1-0 at home to QPR. In League 2, Newport County were beaten 2-0 by Rochdale. On to rugby, and it was a big win for Cardiff last night with a 42-14 victory over Zebra at the Arms Park. They ran in 6 tries in total and ended a 5-match losing streak in their final United Rugby Championship home game of the season. Well, there's been plenty of sunshine across Wales today. James Wright can tell us if we're in for some more.
Transport for Wales. Proud sponsors of ITV Cymru Wales Weather.
Hello there, good evening. Saturday not doing too badly weather-wise, Sunday not looking too bad either, and that's courtesy of high pressure that's pretty much plonked on top of us. That is going to start sinking away, and it looks as though the next few days will see the return of proper Atlantic weather. Doesn't always mean that we're going to see the amount of rain that this map's showing just right now, but we'll talk about that more in a moment. As far as overnight goes then, some of the cloud from today sticking around. We've still got a little bit of mist and murk up towards Anglesey and Gwynedd, a little more sea mist and fog just drifting into Pembrokeshire. We might see one or two little patches developing elsewhere. And temperature-wise, not doing too badly. Some of us staying in double figures, so by no means chilly, but frost-free. Tomorrow morning then, some of that cloud actually melts back as the sun gets going, so around late morning should be lovely pretty much across the board, but then more fair weather cloud bubbles up later on in the day. Temperatures, well, for some slightly down, so a couple of degrees down for the likes of Cardiff and Abergavenny, but certainly feeling a little bit warmer out towards the western and northern coast. And then, like I say, things start to become a little more unsettled and changeable through next week.
Trafnidiaeth Cymru yn falch i noddi tywyd ITV Cymru Wales.
And that's it for now. I'll be back with the headlines in Newsweek Wales tomorrow lunchtime at 12:25. But until then, from me and the Saturday team, bye-bye.